Sean, thanks for joining me on Doing It for Attention, the podcast hosted by me, the co-host, Rohan, normally hosted by Luke, but you get the better half of us today. So for those that don't know, Sean is the head of CS with Supermetrics, is a leading, maybe number one ranked voice for CS in Ireland.
At this stage, I think so. I'm going by Fabicon's rankings. That's what tells me, so I trust that.
Keep it there, we'll run with it. And even if not, like a big voice in the customer success community, supporting lots of people, lots of other communities as well. But not wanting to steal your thunder, I'll hand over to you, Sean, and let you do a quick who are you and where can everyone find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be here. And yep, let's say head of customer success with Supermetrics. I've been with the customer success space now for well over a decade. Started off my career in HubSpot and was there for a good 6 years. Moved on to Personio, which is a HR tech based out of Munich. Was there for about another 3 years, and then spent a year with another Boston-based company called Tive, and now I'm in Supermetrics. When I'm not in this official realm, I can be found a few different places. I'm usually found at least twice a year in Dublin running our customer success snack events, which are CS community kind of think tank sessions that we run. And I can normally be found waffling on LinkedIn on a daily basis. And my wife has turned around and said, "You're on a summer tour this year." I seem to be going to a lot of events across Europe and America, so I can be found in a lot of places.
Fine. Well, we'll get on to CS Snack a bit later as well and just touch on that because it is a great community and it is a great source of information, intel, and access for people both within and without CS. So we'll touch on that. First question, kind of to kick off, in your words, what is customer success?
Customer success is the. I was about to go with it I have an answer. It's like it's really hard to define, and I'm kind of. We always try to come up with one snappy line. It's like we know it's difficult, so let's not pretend it's anything else. Customer success for me is protection of revenue and growth of revenue through strong relationships and being there at the right time for our customers.
Cool. So you would put the emphasis on revenue ahead of the rest?
Yes, 100%. I am one of the folks who will say it is a revenue role. If it's not a revenue role, it's a cost center, and we know it's definitely not a cost center style role. At the end of the day, we're managing retention no matter what. Retention is linked to revenue. It's a revenue role. That's it. Expansion could be something different, but if there's a retention involved, revenue.
And that stance, that position is definitely more prominent now. It's gone through some evolution. How have you found, I guess, has that always been your stance, and how have you found CS develop over the last 4 years to fall more within it is a revenue-based role?
Yeah, I think when I started, CS was not a revenue role. CS was definitely we're here to form a relationship, we're here to make sure you're seeing value out of the tool, and the emphasis was really put on, are you having frequent calls with your customers? Is NPS really strong? Is this leading to a good renewal? And we're happy, right? It's like a customer happiness center is what I heard someone refer to it back in the day. But this was before the first recession of the last 10 years, which seems like there's constantly one, but the first major one that we had really kicked in. And when that kicked in, it became really apparent that if companies are to survive, there is, 5 to 7 times more expensive to generate revenue from new business as it is within your install base. So it became really apparent we have a function here that's really doing a strong job of not just protecting revenue, but we could be enabling to grow revenue at a much faster rate, a much more cost-effective rate. So let's enable them. So that was like that transition from CS 1.0 to 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been I'd say about 5 years ago that really kicked in to let's talk about expansion. Let's really hone in on ROI for investment with our customers, and looking at things like LTV, looking at CAC to LTV ratios. But I think we kind of swung too far that way. While it was very much like revenue, protect the revenue, we started seeing the customer experience side of things suddenly fall to the wayside. And we're into this really interesting sweet spot now where we're coming back to that the relationship is the key, but we've taken the lessons of we know what we can do for business revenue. We know what we can do for like basically turning a SaaS business into a success story.
Hmm.
It lives and breathes by what happens post sale. So how do we bring that and apply it to relationships? And I think that's where we got into a stage where now we get to challenge the metrics and the insights that built CS in the early days. Are they the right thing now? Is that really the indication of you're getting in front of a customer at the absolute right time with the goal of showing revenue impact?
Fine. And that's kind of looking at it from a business perspective, which is definitely arguably the more important element. How the business wants to operate and deliver is key. How have you found customer success managers deal with that evolution, good, bad, or indifferent? Because it has been a change. We speak to lots of CSMs and have lots of perspectives on how they feel, how they experience, and how they see it. How have you seen it?
I definitely there was a trend I'd say about 2 years ago where you would have so many CSMs coming to interviews with me, and when I asked them like first time moving into CS, why do you want to be a CSM? And you'd hear the line, I don't want to be a salesperson anymore. I want to get away from sales. And that was the first challenge because there was that perception of we're not sales,
Mm-hmm.
we're the good guys. Like we put it that way. And that was like an incredibly unhealthy attitude to have towards all of this. It's like, well, if you're saying to me that you don't want to be in a selling type role, I'm sorry, this isn't the role for you anymore. Like there are relationship roles that are not linked to a revenue impact. You could be a professional service style piece. So someone could pay to have your usage of hours for maybe 10 hours to run a project for a customer. Great, perfect, done. That exists. But we are selling. What we are selling is value. And if you're not able to comfortably go to a customer and pitch the value they're seeing in working with you and working with your software, you're going to fail in a CS role today. And that's where the whole idea of getting over ourselves and saying like we're not sales, we are selling. It's just something a bit different. And that dynamic has been major. But I think we're coming to the other side now where we're seeing really high performing, ambitious folks who can see the value of this is what a strong relationship with my customers does.
Yeah, 100%. I think we had Christy Faltoruso on who said in a customer facing role, everyone is a salesperson to some degree. You know,
Yep.
if you're in retail, again, you're selling a service and or a shelf of products. And if you're in a client facing role in the software world, the technology world, any world, the hardware world, there is an element of salesmanship to it. So it's been an interesting evolution. And you've spoken to, interviewed lots of CSMs. So if we're looking at customer success as it exists today, and you're sitting in interview or you're engaging with a prospective CSM hire, how does a CSM impress you when it comes to how they talk about what they do?
It's not the ones who are turning around to me and saying, I'm great at my job because my customers love working with me. It's like, sure, I expect all of your customers to enjoy wanting to meet their CSM. Everyone will say that. It's the ones who are able to turn around to me and go, I have analyzed what's happening in my book of business. And I am able to see that there are X percentage of my customers who are reaching a moment in time where they need someone to not come in and be their friend. They need someone to come in and go, you have a problem. I'm here to project management this piece. Let's turn this around from a problem to something we can grow with. And then they're able to comfortably say the problem was solved with either it's a retention style play, so they're just losing value of the tools they have, they're not seeing as being as beneficial to them as they would have initially thought. Maybe I have to challenge their mindset a little bit, or the ones where the solution is an add-on, it is an upsell, it is a cross-sell opportunity, and they're able to go position and not of let's just sell you this thing. They're going, if you're trying to get over this moment, the solution is this thing, and that will get you there. And by the way, I'm your customer success manager. I'm going to see you tomorrow. So if this is not the right thing, I have to face you tomorrow. So I'm not going to recommend something to you that I'm just trying to hit a target with. It's because I'm here at the right moment for what you need.
Perfect.
That's what always stands out to me.
Okay. Yeah. So be able to position examples where they have identified, but also there's a nurture element. There's identification of an opportunity. There is a tactic to nurturing it. And it's not a sales approach. It is positioning value, supporting and solving, I guess, and then seeing that through to delivery. Okay.
It's like the folks who I've heard someone in an interview once say that they think a good CSM is half SDR, half tech support. I was like, that's where they sit in this kind of world. They're like really nurturing a good deal there to get towards, or they're going, fix the problem. And that summed it up nicely for me.
Nice little snippet. Cool. So you mentioned targets, KPIs, and where people focus. Now, health scoring has always been something that's popped up. It's usually part of most people's metric for are our clients happy? And you are a prominent voice for challenging health score. So I guess kind of touching on that, like talk me through. I've seen the post where you're like, it's not the most important, and does it tell you everything? Yeah, keen to get more of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about this whole thing of where we are now with customer success and challenging old metrics. I think health scores had its day, right? Health scores were a great foundation for us to be able to go, are we in front of the customer at the right time? But the problem is we got to a stage where our tools have become so sophisticated and we've put a focus on our tools being so sticky that we could have customers who rely on what we do on a day-to-day basis. And therefore they'll show as green because most health scores are built around product adoption. So nothing to worry about there. You're all good. But the reality is sentiment is poor. Their champions are putting pressure on them to go, this is not exactly what we expected. We're not getting the results we would have thought with this. This is causing us more headaches. And also, we're starting to speak with competitors and they are offering a better price. And in a day of Claude being at our fingertips, it's speeding up those insights as well. We're able to just go, show me what else is out there and what can I also build myself. So in the while you have the health score going, everything's great, everything's fine, they're logging in. It's because they literally need to keep the business operating. But when they're ready to go, they say, we're out, they'll push that button and say, we're gone. And we already have something set up. We have a new solution. We don't need you anymore. And that's where health scores are failing us. So I think what I've been really honing in on is to go, how do we evolve a health score to not just be a pace of, here is a green health, but what are we actually trying to achieve from it? Because the other problem with a health score is if you go internally to other departments and you say the health score for this customer is yellow. That's great in a CS world. You built that, you know what yellow means. If I'm in finance, I don't know what yellow means. Like, sure, it's a great color, but is this something I should be worried about or not? Or should I be putting this here, putting this here? It's too vague. It's too open to interpretation, and it makes it really hard for other teams outside of CS see how they can make an impact on it. I think that's why it gets dismissed and not actioned so much. So what I propose instead is to go, at the end of the day, we're measured by retention. Doesn't matter how it looks. It could be GRR, NRR, logo, retention rates, whatever it is. Retention's the name of the game in customer success. So reality is the health score is meant to be showing us what is the probability of an account renewing. And that's where I said, then let's kill a health score and call it what it is. It's a renewal probability score. And if we build it in a way where we say, yes, product adoption is there. Yes, we need it to be sticky. But how do we take the other insights that show this is a customer going towards a likely renewal? How well they're using the academy? What's their sentiment and support tickets like? What's their sentiment in our calls and emails like with them as well? Can we see organizational changes on LinkedIn or with their business? Have they been acquired by someone else? Has your champion left? What is the login frequency rate of users week on week versus the trending month data? Like there's so many other insights we can build in, and that will all show you're more likely to renew. Now I have something that I can actually say is really predictive because it's taking all these trends instead of going, it's now dropped to a certain level, you need to action it.
Yeah.
That's happened. That's done. This is predicting. And it means I can also go to finance or anyone else and say, hey, you know what? The percentage of probability for renewals on these cohorts accounts is low because of this trend. We have an issue with our pricing. We have an issue with this particular product is driving a lot of it, or this feature is not being utilized how you would have thought. That's information that your team can fix. And if you don't fix it, we're going to lose this revenue. Much easier to understand.
Pretty powerful statement. Like there is an impact here, and yeah, you can almost kind of start setting, I guess, levels to it. You know, if something drops below 60%, 70%, it's like, look, no, okay, at sub 80%, it's escalated to some form of leadership, the head of CS, for example, and we look at what we can do. If it drops below that, then look, this is subject to value of account. This is a VP or C-suite subject to size of business level involvement because this is 50, 100, 250,000 pounds, euros, dollars, whichever number you want to use of revenue that is at risk based on everything we know about everything we've done. So good point, and a good point on using Claude or any platform that is AI backed to very quickly do research on solution. I think that's something that's overlooked before the, I guess, like relate it to insurance and I guess showing my age, insurance used to be you go onto individual websites or phone individual companies to get individual quotes. And actually, when it comes to renewal, that's too much of a pain in the backside to do. So you get your renewal letter, your renewal email. It's like, honestly, it's not prohibitively expensive. I'm just going to stick with it. Whereas now it's so easy to be like, off you go. When the emergence of aggregators go compare and all that. And now it's so easy to just requote. And that's kind of similar now. You can use Claude to very quickly be like, okay, look, I'm 6 months away. Claude, what's out there that does this, but maybe does this also? And can you give me a pros and cons breakdown, make it tabular so it's easy, and then give me a printable version that I can put on my CEO's desk and say, look, this is what I think we do with some kind of rough budget allocation. And it's done. The research that might have taken a week to do is done in, well, minutes, and it's usually done when you're finished the day because Claude will happily crack on without you. So
And it's something that I even think in that exact point, right? Like that's what your customers are doing. They're going into cloud, they're checking everything on the market and say, give me the best possible outcome here, what I can look for. As a CSM, you should be doing the exact same thing your customers are doing. Say, if I'm a customer, I'm going to assume this is happening. So let me go into cloud. Let me go, hey, show me how I'm doing against my competitors. Then you have a playbook to get ahead of. And that's also where renewal probability can help because you're able to go, oh shit, I can actually see that the suggestion here is that this other tool is much better for what they need based on budget or whatever it may be. And let's not kid ourselves, especially in the UK, the trend has been pricing is the number one concern for so much of our tech stack. So if Claude is able to turn around to you and say, you're going to save X amount of revenue by going with this solution, an executive who's not in your meetings, who's not in your success plans, they're going to make that decision based on that.
100%. And actually, that ties in quite nicely to what I was going to come on to, which is you chucked out a post not long ago about what customers care about. Really, really good topic where people get too caught up on what the CSM cares about. And that's not always the same as what the customer or your stakeholders or even a range of stakeholders care about. So I guess kind of expand on that a little bit and kind of share the thought process behind that and articulate it for.
Yeah. There was a post I saw early this year that kind of sparked this and it's stood with me. And it was someone just basically put up like a joking post saying, no customer wakes up and starts their working day going, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to a CSM today. Like no one has that in their job description. And yet we still think of ourselves as being the center of our customers' world, right? We're the most important thing. We're the part that gets to their success. It's bullshit. They don't view us that way. They, especially now in an age of AI, 9 times out of 10, they would just go, it's another internal meeting. They'll do anything to get out of it. And if they get into it, they'll just go, yeah, we've completed that checklist. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, okay, great. Can I have 20 minutes back? Great, thanks very much. Gone. And we need to then say, like, well, that's just because we're constantly trying to do these things of solving for ourselves. We have a QBR mandate. We need to have a check-in every 3 months with these customers. So book that call with a customer. Customer doesn't care. What a customer really cares about is, kind of going back to what I was mentioned earlier, there are moments in time. They're working away on their work. They have their own tasks they need to complete. They have KPIs they're looking to hit. And if you're a CSM and you reach out to your customer and just go, hey, I want to understand what you're working on. I want to understand what your metrics are. I want to understand what, when you come to your performance review and you go to your manager and they go, why are you exceeding expectations? This is what drives that. Tell me that. And if I get all that, I catalog it in my CRM, I catalog it in my CSP, and say, this is what my customers really give a shit about. That changes my conversations with my customers. Now, if I'm reaching out to them to say, hey, I want to have a conversation with you about A, B, and C, they know you understand what's important to me. And you're not going to waste my time either. You're not going to do a 10-minute slideshow on all these things of like, thank you so much for all this value, and here's this investment and that, if it's not relevant to them. They really just want to get into call and go, working on this, how do I fix it? You do A, B, and C. I might challenge you a little bit on that because I think this would be a better solution for you. Great, perfect. Do you want to meet again in 5 weeks because this is a 10-week long project? Great, perfect. Thanks very much. You know where I am. Save the more in-depth stuff for those enterprise customers as well. Like really investing the time in more hours with them, because then you win. And then that's what leads to stronger retention. And that's what leads to more successful customers, I think.
Yeah, really good point. I kind of, as I ran through the post, like, yeah, it's one of those things that resonated with me. It's so easy to look at the metrics that you think matter, and do you genuinely understand what matters to the customer? And it rarely is a metric. It's usually an outcome. And if you're
Yeah.
not getting closer to it, who cares?
And it's not to dismiss, like metrics are important, right?
Yeah,
Like if I think of my team, I think of my leadership team, I'll always ask them, what's going on with GRR? What's going on with NRR? How are we looking at product adoption? What are you doing to drive those numbers to go up and to the right? But when they're talking to their team, their challenge is to go, take your customers' problems and translate it into how that successfully moves those numbers. If we're getting in front of the right customers, how is that making a difference on churn, which is helping GRR? If we're getting in front of the right customers to go, yeah, we know what's important to them and this is the right solution for them, great. NOR is taking an impact. Show me those. I tell them to tell their teams all the time, tell them to be Sherlock Holmes, investigate, ask really good questions, and then everything else will fall into place.
really good point. Really good point. You're speaking at CS Festival in June, I believe. So whilst this podcast will be seen by millions and millions and millions of people globally, the Customer Success Fest is, or festival, I think, is actually a pretty prominent event that I'm hoping to get to myself. So,
Nice.
what's the topic there? What are you sharing insight and knowledge on?
Yeah, so I'm there. It's on June 18th in London. And I'm part of a what's called the Great Debate, which is sure enough on what is customer success today? Is it a relationship role or a revenue role? Spoiler, you all know my answer. But it's more to start off with getting the room engaged with it and getting people to literally pick a side, go to where they are physically, and just start debating on where we're at. Because I've listened to the podcast before. I've heard some people come on and say like a relationship is the big focus, and yes, there is a link to a revenue part, but really should be based on the people. It's like great, good vibes are always good vibes, but good vibes don't equal a success every time. Like sometimes you can't be the good vibe person. You might need to give a customer a tough truth because they need to hear it, and it'll get them to retain, it'll get them to renew, and that's the name of the game. That's how we show we're successful. So there's a lot of great sessions during the day. I can't pick one that I'm like picking over the other. I'm actually really struggling on looking through the agenda. So some really great stuff there as well. But my session I think lasts about 45 minutes.
Fine. Well, we'll plug that and make sure that's tagged in somewhere, and I'll see you there, I imagine.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
CS Snack. You mentioned CS Snack, who again we know as a community. Yeah, I guess what is it? Why does it exist? Who's it for? And how might individuals access or be part of?
Yeah, it started by a gentleman called Mick Weirs in Amsterdam a couple of years ago. I think it was just before, yeah, it would have been just before COVID. And he, like a lot of us in customer success, got really frustrated when you would go onto, StubHub or anything else that like was showing events, and it'd all be sales, sales, sales. We're going, where's the CS events? And all the only CS events you would really see would be the ones that were, God bless them, like they're great events, but they're very much an advertisement for a piece of software. And there's a bit of an agenda there,
Looking at
right?
you, Pulse.
By the way, I will see you all in polls. But it's they're not independent,
No, no,
and
I know what you mean. It's good event. We've been to Pulse. It's great. There's so much to learn from it. Um,
it's essential. I like it's a great event, but it's great to have something where you go, this is completely independent of us, and that wasn't there. So Mick decided to create CS Snack, where he said, "I want to not just go, let's get into a room and talk." He goes, "I want a good quality event. I want folks to literally say, you've 3 or 4 hours out of your day to come together. We'll feed you. We'll give you breakfast. We will then put you all in the round tables and say, these are the topics that are relevant for CS right now. Pick the ones you want to go to. Just talk with your peers. We'll give you some topic prompts as well. But then afterwards, we'll follow up with here's all the resources from every round table. Here's everything everyone mentions. So you get that full guide to take with you. And it started off small, and now it's in 10 cities across Europe. There's events constantly. Every city tries to do two a year, but it just means that there's always these events happening. And Dublin's been going for 3 years now. I've been since day one, and sells out every time now. It's always just a great vibe, a great buzz that goes with it. And we also now do digital snacks as well. So anyone who's that's in somewhere where there's not a event can attend a virtual version as well. And again, it's very small attendance to it. It's roughly about, I think it's 10 to 15 people get to go to each one, but it's to make sure that it's good dialogue, good conversation, and you're not just joining and sitting in the background. Like, it encourages you to talk, take part.
Awesome. And I believe you're the chapter lead for Dublin, aren't you? So got the
Myself,
man.
Waleed, and Nina.
Yeah. And then do you know if there's one in London? I don't know without looking. Is there a London base?
No, there's not. But if anyone is ever interested, I know London is one that we'd love to get up and running. So just find me on LinkedIn or find Mick on LinkedIn and say, hey, we'd love to get this going in London.
There we go. Cool. Okay. Now we were chatting about this, so kind of segueing away from CS because we've touched on some good stuff there, but we were nerding out pretty hard because there's a games machine behind me. You then mentioned that you've got a collection which really kind of ignited my jealousy. So, question away from customer success, you've got a great collection already. Is there an arcade machine and or 90s game that you would love to add to your collection that you don't have at the moment?
Oh, that's a good question because that machine is loaded. The only thing it can't really play, so it means I'd need to get a machine for it, would be Dance Dance Revolution. Something along those lines. I, I and I'm a bigger guy. This is my workout. That's the only way I can do it because I don't play American football as much as I used to back in the day. So it would be great for my heart health to have Dance Dance Revolution and confuse the hell out of my kids.
Yeah, it'd be quite the sight to see.
Yeah.
How long did you play American football for?
A couple of years. I started in 2017 and
Oh,
then
okay.
retired about 3 years ago. Got a nasty shoulder injury.
Oh, okay.
So just realized then that's when my first child was, not long in this world. We kind of had a moment of, you know what, you don't get paid for this, so maybe don't put your body on the line.
Fine. Maybe turn to like flag football, touch football.
Yep. A lot of flag, a lot of flag. I dabble in some coaching as well with
Oh, okay.
younger lads as well, but mainly just watching. I love the sport, so
I
immersed in it.
I can only claim to be, apart from watching the odd highlights now and again, because it's very exciting to watch. I've only ever watched that at Super Bowl level, and even then, it's very advert heavy. So I guess
Yeah,
I kind of I haven't quite got into the American style of broadcasting, but I enjoy watching the sport. That is the extent of it.
go see it live. That's the best way to do it. Games in London are coming up. There, I'd how everyone I've gotten into it has been to actually go to a game. And when you go to a game, it all just comes to life. There's no better feeling outside of the Six Nations is still the best sporting
Yeah,
tournament
that's
in
a
the world.
good shout. Actually, is going to watch a game live. That's a good shout. Now, I have to ask, and being a non-Irish person asking this, I want this kind of obviously jumped on your LinkedIn profile, and before customer success and the word of SaaS, um, there is you worked for the National Leprechaun Museum,
Uh-huh.
and I cannot not ask about that because it was a fascinating point in your profile. You have to tell me more. I don't even know how to ask this question, but please tell me more.
Um, I will say words are resounding for me now of the owner of the museum who once told me the greatest gift I'm ever going to give you is the fact that you worked here because you will have so many people asked to interview you purely to go, what the fuck is the National Leprechaun Museum?
I read it. I was like, is that a real thing? Am I allowed to ask? It almost feels like I'm making a joke, but it's definitely there. Like people can
It's
check it
there,
out on his
it
LinkedIn.
exists,
It's there.
and it's much bigger than you think. So basically, my background's marketing and journalism. So I joined the museum to do a lot of their marketing for them, and I had these career ambitions of being a marketer forever. That's what I'm be into HubSpot. Actually, funny enough, was I didn't intend on going into customer success because I didn't know what it was. I wanted to be a marketer. So I said, why would I want to be a marketer with anyone but the best marketing tool out there? So that's why I joined them. But yeah, it's good fun. It's a folklore museum. Like the title of it does not match what it is. It is a storytelling experience where you got a traditional Irish folklorist or a Shanachie who brings you to rooms based on Irish mythology, and they tell you not just the stories, but they'll tell you the the cultural relevance of the stories and the tales and
Yeah.
what they were meant to represent and how they shaped Ireland and some of our bizarre customs we have.
That is honestly that is ridiculous. Right, I'm just gonna go. Obviously, our power's run out, so we've been cut off. Just
Of course,
2 seconds.
I'll fill the dead air.
Quick freestyle, Sean. Freestyle.
Yeah,
Do it.
yes.
Quick. Do some jokes. Yeah.
Well, I used to do stand-ups.
Oh,
That's the you don't see on my
wow. That was
LinkedIn.
not okay. So again, I don't. No, no. I was going to do the really, really cheesy kind of Dublin related joke, which would have been I've seen that customer success jobs at Dublin. Would you say the same? Like,
Oi!
yeah, exactly that. But it's now forced. It's rubbish. It was bad in the first place. So I'm
TMZ ruined it because they
yeah,
used
yeah, yeah.
TMZ.
The lighting threw it out and threw me off my game. Otherwise, it would have been perfectly delivered, standing ovation from everyone, and
Absolutely. Highlight the podcast.
yeah, exactly that. The rest of it, honestly, just supporting that really. Did you? So
Yeah.
you used to do stand up properly? Sorry, this is
Used to
moving well
proper,
away from
proper.
CS now.
Well, is it? So because
Well, you.
uh, I can tell you I've seen the best lessons I can give to anyone in customer success, and I've ran this through my teams, is improv workshops. Like genuinely, get a comedian in who does improv and get them to do a workshop with your CS teams. It's the best lesson to learn in customer success because you learn the whole basis of how not to get phased and how to roll with the punches and how to yes and every situation, but it trains you to do active listening. Because as a stand up, everyone thinks that it's just writing jokes, which yeah, a lot of it is, but you have to be listening to your audience. You have to really listen to what exactly is the vibe in the room, and I have to match that. And sometimes that means you chuck every joke out the window. You just have to
Yeah,
roll for
completely
what's in the room.
freestyle. Well, there you go. The title of the podcast is now "What Stand-up comedy taught me about B2B customer success,"
Yes.
which I didn't think it would be. But there we go. So I'll get my marketing going there. Cool.
Straight on to LinkedIn lunatics.
Yeah, yeah, it will be. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be straight there. Have you found yourself on LinkedIn Lunatics or seen anything on there that you're just like, what is happening?
I haven't found myself on it. I do subscribe to it.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm not there. It's a very interesting place in my life.
Good choice of words. Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic, as LinkedIn can be sometimes, to be fair, but for the most, it's maintained, I think.
It hasn't bots haven't found their way to LinkedIn lunatics yet, so the M dashes are still protected on Reddit.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Cool. Sean, anything else you wanted to touch on, whether it be things you're supporting, doing? If not, we'll kind of slowly start rounding up.
I I suppose like there's always the CS neck fans are always happening as well, and I'm always curious. I'm kind of a call to action I would have the people who are like on LinkedIn. Like my biggest gripe with LinkedIn right now is that there are too many people like me posting where I say we're in leadership. The best posts I see on LinkedIn are coming from CSMs because they're doing the job and I don't get enough of it. So any chance I get to turn around and say, if you're a CSM and you are doing really cool stuff, talk about it on LinkedIn because there's not enough of you out there doing it and I want to see more of it. So that's not a call to action for me. It's a call to action for for CSMs to go, please be active because your voice is huge.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, good point. If you're doing good stuff, make people aware of it. Like you are front line, you're the
Yep.
closest to what's happening. By all means, share it. But two plugs, Sean. Yep. Find them on LinkedIn. Drop them a note. How do people join or get involved in CS Snack? How does that community grow?
Yeah, just go onto our website. I think it's customersuccessnap.com. Pretty easy to find. There's a mailing list there. There's a sign up list there as well. You can join on to that. We also have on the website our link to our Slack instance as well, where people can join in, keep conversations in the community. And we also run a mentorship list. So this is people across all over Europe who are in customer success who are willing to give up their time. They do it for free of being able to say they want to take on some mentees to help them through their CS journey. So if you're trying to upskill yourself or get maybe a second pair of eyes on something, by all means, an amazing list of folks there as well.
Awesome. Cool. Sean, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for jumping on, for sharing some fascinating information around CS, not CS, leprechauns, stand-up comedy, and everything in between.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me,
Appreciate it.
and I'll see you in London.
Will do. Cheers, Sean.